Good afternoon and welcome to VAS Golf. I've decided to do a YouTube channel to give back to a sport that's been more than kind to me for most of my life. Playing properly from the age of 11, assistant professional at 16 and then head professional thereafter. I'm going to share my tips with you. Hopefully it'll improve your game and obviously my experiences as well. Okay, we're going to start right at the very top of the bag, the driver, the big dog. I myself carry a Ping 430 10k max driver with a Mitsubishi Cali shaft in extra stiff. Golf Pride Tour Velvet grip. I've had this in the bag for about a year, I'd say. So I decided to invest in this. And obviously, each manufacturer is trying to basically outdo themselves each year. But this is last year's model. Obviously, 2025, they've just brought out a new model. But this was awesome. So forgiving. So I'm going to do some work. Today is February the 25th, 2025. We'll come back on Masters Week and see what the figures look like. So we're going to take an average, going to hit roughly 50 odd balls, take an average. We'll look at it again, do the same drill the week of the Masters and see where I'm at. And then I'll show you what I've been doing to gain that extra distance. Obviously still trying to maintain keeping it on the fairway or close to the fairway. Hopefully it'll improve your game and obviously maybe give you those few extra yards. Obviously putting the effort in and the hard work obviously comes into it, but I'm sure you guys are up for it. Okay, so I'm going to hit roughly 40 shots, work out an average on obviously distance, and we'll look at obviously club head speed and ball speed as well. And then we'll look again, like I said, week of the Masters. Right, so let's get going. Pretty straight. Expect it's its first one with no warm up, probably a 265. Not too bad really, 268. 268, 96 club head, 140 ball. Okay. I'll take that as a first shot. No practice swing after a day's work. Okay. Well, that was very thin. Okay, that's about as wide right as I could possibly hit this driver. Not very good. That was a complete miss hit. Not great. Less said the better. That wasn't very good at all. But, again, not too bad. Right. Okay, keep going. Wee bit necky, so I expect that to be slightly left to right, hence, yeah, cut. So, a little bit out the heel, not a great strike at all, hence the heel. 261, not very good at all. But, not disastrous. Had swing, pretty straight. keep going. Right, that was horrible. But this is where this driver comes in handy, certainly for me. And again, I'm going on my experiences. Not a good shot at all, that. Right off the bottom of the club. The 262. I take it, it wasn't good at all. 262, 96, 138 ball. Not good. But I suppose that's with the modern day driver, it's that much more forgiving. Back when I was in my teens, which would be the 80s, late 80s, I mean, the club was just minute, but it had a lot more of a block, as in there was a lot more weight there. And when you hit it, it went. I mean, people say, oh, how did you possibly, I mean, look at pros in the past, like tour players, how could they hit the ball that far with that sort of equipment? But for me, my belief is that the block was basically one solid unit. Now we've got this great big huge face, a lot lighter, and literally that much more forgiving, so it's not all concentrated in one area. Right, so the strange thing about golf is, and certainly in my industry, is that we spend all our time practicing playing hours and hours to get to standards of whatever, pluses, ones, two. Myself, I got down to 1 and then turned pro from there. But certainly we spend our whole time, like I said, practicing playing to get to that standard. Obviously the goal is, and we've all got that dream, I presume, get to tour standard, get on tour. We've all had that dream, certainly low handicappers and club pros and so forth. But we end up, obviously, I'm talking about the club pro or the assistant pro, end up working in the pro shops and so forth. So we spend all that time practicing, get the handicap right down, do what you got to do, and then we stop playing golf. It's the most common thing going. So when people turn around and go, oh, when's the last time you played? And they get absolutely dumbfounded when you turn around and go, maybe a month ago, 2 months ago. How many times have you played this year? 15? We just don't have the running the golf courses, doing whatever we're doing, teaching, family life. You just don't have the time as you did beforehand. And I suppose the drive as well to a certain degree, but obviously we still enjoy the game. I enjoy teaching as much as the next guy. And we put our all into that. But I suppose we get our rewards from watching the pupil improve and study win, like the midweek Stateford. I had a guy last week, I've given him one lesson. He's never had a lesson in his life. Gave him one lesson, not taking anything away from him because he's a good golfer anyway. But he won the midweek Stapleford, so forth, stuff like that. And you kind of take pride in that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's just a weird industry that we spend all that time getting to that point, and then we almost stop playing because we just haven't got time to play. So, and it's very, very common. So it's no excuses on my my golf, but there we go. Just a little insight. That was a better hit. Yeah, that's more my shape. So started slightly right. It's supposed to have drawn a little bit, but it didn't. Distance not great. 268. It's all right. Considering how I struck it, I expected it to be further. 99 club head, 144. Like I said, 268 on the distance. Right, so that's interesting. That was higher off the face. So ball flight was a hell of a lot higher. But this is something I'm going to say to you guys. I didn't hit that great at all. That wasn't a good shot. But if you see the distance, and I'll pause it. Right. That's saying 271 yardage. So it's upped on all the other shots. 98 club speed, 146 ball speed was up. That came out of this part of the wood. What I mean by that, at the very top of the wood. The sweet spot on these modern day clubs, as much as everyone must think, oh, it's right in the middle of the club. It's not, it's actually slightly, really fractionally above it. Back in the day, like I was saying about the older clubs, it would be dead centre of the club. But here it's slightly above centre, and that's where I hit that shot. I didn't hit it great, but it come off that, and that's more where the sweet spot is on these modern day drivers. Hence it went obviously about 3 or 4 more yards further, but with a lesser hit. Right, I'm freezing myself, otherwise I'll be all day. So at the moment we're looking at roughly, we've had 271, we've had a few about 266 at the moment. Pretty straight. So on this thing, if I get reverse angle, it generally means you've hit a sweet one. It just does it. It does it automatically. It just flips and shows your reverse angle. So it wasn't too bad, 266, which is kind of where I'm thinking roughly average. Right, club head went up a little bit, 100 on that one, and 144. Ball. Let's get on with it. Yeah, pretty straight. So that's my kind of normal shape when I'm playing normally in the rhythm of playing. And that, I would say, is about as average as can be for me. 268, 96. A club, for me, club head speed has dropped off a lot, but that's, again, lack of golf. Being February the 25th, 2025, I haven't played for a few months, and just the weather's been so, well, it's winter, isn't it? Winter in England, what do we expect? But that will change now. I'll start playing a bit. Hopefully that will draw, because that was not a bad shot. Right, again, that's my kind of shape when I'm going. So I expect this to be about 265. There you go. So 271. So let's pause it. I got my proper shape. That's the first time I've hit one in all the balls I've hit where I've actually got the exact shape I'm looking for. This is my normal shape. 271 distance, 101 club, and 146 ball. So that's what I'm looking at. But that's not the average. So again, that was right, but it's high on the face. That's too far right for me. I don't normally hit that shot. But again, it's what I was talking about earlier. So that was wide for me. Not a good hit. They come out slightly out the top part of the club. 264, it's fine. It was slightly, like, again, it's too far right. But I got kind of nearer the sweet spot of the driver. So certainly my older friends who I used to play golf with, and they've commented, a couple of them that I've seen in the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, where's your backswing gone? And they couldn't have got it more right. It has disappeared. I suppose it's not an age thing, but again, it is an age thing. It's just basically less agility. My backswing probably used to get to about 11 o'clock, maybe, yeah, probably 11. I was never parallel. Now you're lucky if you're getting to what we call 10 o'clock around here somewhere. And sometimes if I get really quick and short, it might even be John Rahm-esque. But look at John Rahm, he, like I said, he brings it from here, absolutely powers it. So mine's about 10 o'clock if I'm lucky. And it certainly used to be 11 o'clock, but the guys who haven't seen my swing for years will probably turn around and go, what has happened to your backswing? It's called getting older, mate. Yeah, pretty straight. That's pretty much my swing again, as in my average, certainly ball shape and stuff. So what this works out is kind of what I'm looking at. All right, it's gone 270. So at the moment, I've only gone over, including 270, I've only gone over maybe twice, is it? I suppose 271 and 270. Right, so that was necky and horrible and low in the face. So I expect that to be squeezed out left to right. It's giving me a reverse angle, but there's no way it was that good a shot. I think I've flummoxed the simulator. 263, that wasn't good. 263, 99 club. Ball was, I think, 143. So a big thing I see, and I think probably Tiger says it best, by you get out of this game what you put in, is practice. If you can practice, practice. I know a lot of us, and certainly, like I said, obviously I've just said about myself, time consuming to play and stuff, just haven't got the time sometimes. And the guys at work all week and can get out only on the weekend and so forth. But if you can practice and you can get down a golf range in a week or whatever, try to. But the biggest fault is, how many times have you seen a guy in the clubhouse playing in the middle or whatever, and he's got on the 14th hole, he started striping it, and he's played the last, I don't know, 5, 6 holes, whatever, really well. And it's like, oh, my back line was brilliant. It's because your muscles are warmed up. You started swinging it. When you get to the tee, be it weekday, middle, weekend, whatever, Stapleford, you run to the tee. You don't warm up. You get on the tee, just cold, off you go. Now, it works for some people, but percentage-wise, what does it really work for? Not a lot of people. If you can, get in the nets, or even get a couple of clubs. The best one I used to have this, it's like I'm sure a lot of you know about it. It was like a weighted, it's like a dumbbell. You just stick it around the bottom of the hosel. I used to use it a lot when I played tournaments in Portugal. And literally, I'd swing away, and it's like you're swinging 3 clubs almost to a point. But if you haven't got that, 2 clubs, just get the muscles going. Even if it's 5 minutes before you tee off, just get your muscles warmed up. It gives you half a chance. Now, I'm saying this to a lot of people that go, yeah, I already know that. But there's a lot of people that don't. And there's people that, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So it's just a little reminder that if you're wondering why later on in the round I've started hitting it. Or even on the first tee, when you swing it, another way of putting it as well, which is the other spectrum, is you get on a par 4 first hole, you get your driver out, you stand there like that, you're swinging it easy because you're not expecting to actually hit it any good. And you kind of, I swung that easier. So stand there, swing it like, I've hit that as easy as I can. But what's happening, my body's all stayed connected. It hasn't gone miles, because I backed off it. It doesn't help that it's almost killed the 250 marker. So it's gone 263, but that was as easy as I could do it. So you're loose. When you get the third hole, you're trying to absolutely lash it. So that's another fault. Swing within yourself. Don't try and crush it. You watch the lady golfers. I think, and a lot of guys say it, and they should look at more of the ladies tour as well, because that kind of interlinks with the amateur golfer. There's more of a relevance to it. The pace of their swing. Some of them absolutely hit it miles, and nothing of them, and they swing it as easy as can be. But it's all connected. Obviously, timing. Well, we know it's timing, but yeah, have a look at that. It's worth a look at it now and again if you're looking at just improving that little bit. Bit right again. Okay, that was interesting. So, if ever you've got the rights going, that was pretty awful, by the way. If ever you've got the rights going like that. So it'll still be a 266 shot or whatever, 268, but it's probably right hand rough. And that's purely because on the way down, instead of getting your body going forward on the way down, I've ended up with my weight going that way. So instead of going that way, I've actually, just before the impact, my weight is actually shifted backwards, which has left me slightly open, shovey one to the right. And when I say slightly open, I mean the club face. Again, feel free to comment. Nice comments, by the way. Again, this is on my experience, and I'm talking about myself at the moment. We'll have videos coming up with other guys in and discussing their swing and so forth. But like I said, feel free to ask away. Right, again, timing was off. Right off, not great. Distance-wise won't be great. As in, up where we're looking, which is the 266 upwards. Not bad though, 264 with a horrible hit, I'll take, considering. But yeah, the reason I've done this is to, like I said, give back to a sport that's been more than good to me. So, and like I said, pass on my tips, my experiences, and hopefully you'll find a certain area that's handy for you. So if I was guessing at the moment, I reckon it's 267, around that sort of neck of the woods average, maybe 266. Right, that was a tied necky one, hence the fade. But it's not that far right, it's right half of the fairway. There's a centre bit there, so that wasn't that bad. Not great on distance, that wasn't good. But again, that's where this driver, this ping comes in handy, because that, with the paradigm, for me personally, again, I'm not endorsing ping or whatever, but I'm just going on my experiences. That was out the neck of the club, wasn't good. It went 261, right half. Again, not a great shot, but forgiving. Hence why I've got it in the bag. Not a good swing. Fairway finder. It's got reverse angle, don't ask me why. Maybe it thought it was better than what it was. 266. Okay. Pretty central considering. I felt like it wasn't that. 266, club head 97, 140 ball. So I've only had one club head, which is quite interesting, in the 101s and above. I've only had one. There's a drop off from normal. Bit drawy. Went after that one a little bit. There's your furthest one, but that's hence the big pulley one. Right, so that was a rogue one for me. At the moment, on these that I've hit, that's 275, 103. So I just mentioned it. I've only been on 101, so that was 103 and 148. So the ball speed's staying kind of around the same, but that was 103, so that was upped. Distance 275, that was upped. Yeah, pretty straight. We're in 266. We should just say 266 for a laugh. 267. So I said 267, 266 is kind of the. So 102. So my club head in the last couple has speeded up. 145 ball. Right, last one. Will I have a long backswing? No, I won't. Normal backswing. If it draws, it's okay, but if not, it's a bit right. Slightly fadey. Right, something interesting that certainly I do. Wasn't great, that. That's all right, 269, 270. So let's pause that one up a sec before I go into the next bit. So that was 270, 97 club, so it's up a little bit more. Obviously not in the hundreds like I was a minute ago. And ball speed was 140, but 270, that's fine. Like I said at the start of the video, mine's a 430 10K ping driver. Obviously not cheap, nor is the new one that's just come out. But if you go and get, there's 425s out there that are not dissimilar to this, the ping 425. I mean, they'll be a lot cheaper than they were last year and the year before, obviously. My first experience with it was during a lesson at my home course, 11th hole. I was teaching a pupil and he'd happened to just bought one and he asked me to have a go. Swung it easy as you like. It's a short par 4 dogleg around the corner, number 11, and just an easy swing. Pinged it straight on the green, and I just thought, what's an easy club to use? And I've got, like I said, it's just so forgiving. And obviously the 10K is even more forgiving than the 425, but you don't have to go and get the 430. Go and get the 425. It's a great driver. And again, I'm not endorsing this for ping. It's purely my own preference. and what I pass on to other people. There's guys I teach that have got the paradigm, the one I was hitting brilliantly, and then found, blimey, I can't hit this thing. Okay, that was the last one. And as we can see, very last ball, 270, 97 club, 140 ball. So I'm going to go with 266 in yards, average. Club head, yeah, probably where it's at roughly. So we go 97. So we go 97 club and 144 ball. So yeah, we'll go with those numbers. And we'll, like I said, we'll check back, see where we're at in, like I said, it'll be a month and 2 weeks' time. And I'll show you what I've been doing, because hopefully we'll get that little bit more out of it in all departments, but certainly in the distance and maybe the club. The ball should increase, but we'll look at that. But yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Right, so we're just going back on the last shot I hit. So there we go. But we'll call it 266, like I said, certainly on yardage. And we'll work through the other numbers also.